Hi, I'm Kate.
And I'm Logan, and welcome to the MrMaple Show.
So we're going to be doing a walkthrough of House 20. Of course, working at MrMaple, one of the most exciting things is getting in new trees. And I was super excited to see we were getting in fig trees. This one in particular, Violet de Barreau, is a really cool fig tree.
And I love these fruits that it's bearing right now. They look amazing.
Yeah, I just want to bite it
Super
off the tree.
different.
Super cool.
And next, one of our butterfly bushes we just got in is the pink microchip. Super cool addition to the garden. That way you can keep it pollinated and keep the bees around, at least the ones that aren't stinging. And then you get some gorgeous butterflies in your garden.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's awesome to have the ability to really bring nature to you, and it's a dwarf, so it won't take up too much of your landscape, but then you'll have a little National Geographic scene in your garden, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah. And what do we got next? Ooh, Bronze Age. So, Bronze Age, known for the amazing color that it's got, I've really grown to love it just because of the different leaf shape we've got on these. They're a little bit thinner than our usual palmatum leaf, but still hold a lot of the color and the presence you're looking for in the garden.
Yeah, and I really love, there's just such a cool shirosana in them, the bright colors that it gets in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you're a history buff, Bronze Age is a fun name too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then next we have this really cool Couga variegated. What's amazing about it is it's a climbing hydrangea, and it's also variegated. It has beautiful blossoms. So a lot of times in gardens, when we're thinking negative, positive space, it's all about acreage. But even if you have like a condo or a small yard space, you can really have a lot of interest with the vertical growth pattern that it has. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, walking around the neighborhood, I actually just saw someone put these under the mailbox and had it climbing up to give the front of the yard right by the street just a little more pop, and I think that's something we might get into too.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's next? Next we got Punk Hill, one of these very, very, very thin, almost lace leaf palmatums, and right now these are in a perfect burgundy color with the new growth being a bright red.
Yeah.
These are super spindly. They kind of look like little fingers, but it still has a really big presence once it gets a little bit bigger, and they're real fun, especially in these little sizes, just to add to a little pot and keep around the garden.
Yeah, it's really nice because even in 10 years, they're about 6 feet or so it's not like it's ever going to be too large next to your home. So, you know, texture is always a fun thing to play with in your landscape.
Yeah, and it's a good mix-up between all the different japonicum leaves and your bigger reds. This is nice little addition to keep something funky in the garden.
Groovy feel.
All right.
So next we have a flamethrower.
Ah!
Not only does it have a really fun name, but it has this really nice cordate shape to the leaves. It has almost a lush quality to it, but then with these bright colors, it's still very fresh. Yeah, and they're just such a beautiful addition. And since redbuds are native to this area, they grow especially well in environments like North Carolina, so that's pretty cool.
The redbuds have definitely been one of my new favorites here at MrMaple since we've been getting them in. And Flamethrower has the prettiest gradient of color from that bright yellow all the way to the dark red. Once these get big, it's amazing. It's amazing to see, especially when you just see them out in nature wild. They look incredible everywhere they are.
They got that fiery color.
Fiery color.
Yeah.
Next on the list, Atatu Sawa. So this one giving us a little bit of ghost look to the leaves, and especially in this new growth. Right now in our greenhouses, especially it being so hot, some of them are showing a little bit more green than usual, but this new growth has a bright pink and bright green to them, and they look pretty amazing with the different styles of leaves just throughout this tree is pretty special.
It's really nice to look at, and then, you know, these are just always so popular. Whenever we get them, they don't stay for long, so it's fun to see who's the lucky people to get it in their box.
Definitely. All right.
So next we have a really cool barberry called Rosewood. And so not only is it variegated and a really great ground cover and shrub, but it also has great deer resistance. So it's got some gnarly thorns. So if you want something that's not going to have problems with, you know, sweet Mother Nature, then this is a great addition.
Especially big for us here on the East Coast with all these deer. I know they're tearing up my mom's garden right now, so it's kind of nice that we have some prettier barberries to put around in the garden, give it cool variegation. That's definitely my favorite part of this is the pink added to the red. It looks just awesome. Awesome.
It is really great, but Bambi and Thumper can stay home.
All right. Moving up to Teita Nishi. Let's go with that one. So Teita Nishi, super variegated clethra, but it's one of our newer trees we're keeping around a lot more. After the first time we brought them in, they just sold so well, and having that bright red stem backed up behind the variegation just makes it pop even more. It's one that I didn't know I loved until I got here and spent so much time around it that it just kept standing out in the crowd, and it's definitely one that's perfect addition to the garden.
Yeah, and I love how the stems have like this pink hue to them. Everything about the plant is interesting. So regardless of the time of year, it's just an awesome addition.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. Let's see what else we got.
We're walking on down to these really cool rainbow.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see why they're called rainbow. They have these really awesome purple and even green, red hues to them. It really just depends on where you put them in your yard to see really what more of the colors come out. But they just have such an interesting leaf shape. They're really full towards the segmented part of the leaf, but then they get that real thin, spindly, almost curled down effect. So they're really interesting to look at, interesting to add into your garden. And these come in a 2-gallon size, so you don't have to wait too long for a mature plant.
Definitely. I mean, this was one of my first favorites here because I'm a sucker for variegation and hadn't seen as many options until I started working here. But rainbow was one that stuck out from the rest with the bright, bright, bright pink against that dark red. It looks so cool, and it's more of the palmatum leaf than some of our other variegated trees like Hanamatoy and Lillians. So this one has a big pop to it, especially when it grows bigger. And once you get a lot more variegation compared to the other leaves, it's definitely bar none one of the coolest variegated trees we have here at MrMaple.
This rainbow's a pot of gold. So we can...
I think next on our list we've got, Oishi.
Oh, nice.
Oishi, one of our very, very small, slow growing, almost a Makawa type, and it's got very curled, crinkly leaves. These are one of the more odd of that small dwarf type that are amazing to see bonsai'd. One of my favorite trees I've ever seen, especially out at Buckholtz. The Oishi that he has out there is just spectacular. And knowing that we can have a little piece of that here is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I really love how at the top of the new growth, it almost resembles kale a little bit. So it's just fun to look out and see succulent, almost munchable leaves on the trees.
Awesome. All right, so next on our list is Madani Nishi. This one has these super short, stubby lobes that, like Kate mentioned, almost looks like a clover. So they're super different. They stand out amongst all these other palmatum leaves, and super fun name.
Yeah, it's cool how the leaves kind of change as they mature too. It's neat. Like these are a little bit more stretched out. They got that palmatum shape. A little bit more funky dunky groovy at the bottom.
Definitely.
That's cool. And then so next we have these Makeu Jacku or Aconatafolium. But what's really great about them is that they have this nice broad, almost fan-like shape to their leaf. They're very dissected, and so they have a lot of interest. They carry just a beautiful quality to their texture of the leaf, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of like a peacock.
Definitely.
The way that they splay out.
Especially with such a big leaf, it just looks gorgeous. Especially with the fall colors, they will turn out amazing. But the reason they attracted me so soon was the big, big leaf, and it takes up so much space that it's got a really nice presence, especially even if you keep it in a pot by the front door or you have it growing out in the yard, they're going to hold a lot of space and just look so gorgeous with this big, big leaf. That's bar none one of the better japonicum sized leaves out there.
Yeah. Big boy. Big leaf.
And lastly, we've got Moonrise Acer Shirasawanum. So this one, known for its gradient and amazing colors. Bright, bright yellows, oranges, reds. Once this thing gets to the fall, you're definitely going to want to have it in your garden.
Yeah, and moon leaves are always so fun because they have this broad, kind of happy look to them. It almost looks like it's waving at you in the wind because it kind of looks like a hand to me.
Definitely.
It has that friendly, kind of bright aura to it.
Yeah, and the full moon, one of my new favorites around here. We've gotten so many in that have just stood out amongst the rest that I think it's my newest addition to the collection, for sure.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it for our walkthrough of House 20. We hope you guys come to open house and we get to see you, hang out, show you guys some of our new stuff. That's one of my favorite parts as an employee here, just getting to talk and hang out with you guys, you Maple fans out there.
Take care.
God bless.
Have a good day.
Have a great day.